Let's go down south to Tennessee. Number 1 team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs from the new college football playoff rankings. They take on Tennessee. That line, Georgia minus 10.5, total 58.5. Colby, we'll start with you as we look at this game. This is, as we talked about, Georgia knows they're going to be playing Bama. You got Tennessee coming up this week, going on the road.
Can I get a drum roll, please? Can I get a no bet? I'm not doing it. Can't do it.
Come on.
Can't do it.
Take something.
The gut says it's going to be Georgia easily, but the plums say Tennessee could get it done. Georgia's 2-7 against the spread, and they're just due for another game where they don't cover. And if it's going to be close, 10 feels pretty close to me. I would lean Tennessee money line. Feeling dangerous.
You're leading Tennessee.
I'm not touching the game. Like I said, not touching the game. Sprinkle on Tennessee.
All right, well, I have plums, so I'm going to take Georgia on the spread, minus 10.5. Colby, I think you should join me on this one. You know why? Because Georgia is killing it recently. This is a team that has gone into overdrive. They started the season sleepwalking, and I think as we look back with hindsight at our availability, we can look back and say, look, Georgia probably didn't start the season as strong as they wanted to be. They didn't cover games. College football rankings have been coming out for a couple weeks now. Georgia sees themselves as number 1. I think they're kicking it into overdrive. This is the Georgia team that everyone really expected when they're putting them at number 1 in the country. They're playing like their best football over the last 3 games. They're 10th in the scoring margin over the last 3 games. They're beating teams up. And I think Tennessee, they had their fun.
But not covering.
They had their, they've covered in a couple of their last games.
Two games.
Ole Miss and Florida, they
Miss.
Covered.
They've started to cover.
And
They've
Florida.
started to take things seriously. This is
That's
a
not
Bulldogs
2-7.
team that sees themselves now. All right, we're getting towards the end of the season. We need to pick it up. Have Brock Bowers back. They're full steam ahead for this Georgia team. I'm going to take a minus 10.5. I don't think Joe Milton or Tennessee really has anything that can come close to
I
beating
need to hear
this
what
team.
Nate has to say. Then I'll make
Nate,
a decision.
you have the
no,
floor.
I agree with a lot of that. Georgia does look like they're peaking at the right time, but this bet's going to be all about price for me. I'm going to take Tennessee plus the 10.5. Last week, I thought we were getting a price discount on Georgia because they only beat Mizzou by 9, and they were playing an Ole Miss team that people think are good. But as I said last week, they were the fraud in the matchup in Athens. So now we have the same exact point spread for this game as Ole Miss at Georgia. Only difference is this game isn't in Athens. It's in Knoxville. And I watched a lot of the Tennessee-Mizzou game last week, and the score looked ugly, losing 36-7. But they were able to move the ball a lot in the first half. They were just doomed by penalties and then a fumble at the end of the first half. So I think Tennessee has the upside to keep it within the number, and I think we're just getting an overreaction in the point spread for this game based on the results of last week of Georgia winning easily and covering against Ole Miss and Tennessee losing by 29 at Mizzou. So not a bet I'm very confident in, but if I had to bet it, Tennessee plus 10.5 is the play in this game.